Master Sword Music.
Welcome to the Gamerz realm. Welcome to the Gamerz realm. Yeah. DJ the Gamer, yes I'm back. Go put out the bolo. No, that's not Mr. Switch, that's the homie CHRONOZ. If you haven't heard, it's a brand new day. About to sneak into the game like a ninja QA. And I will never hit my peak though. Yes, I'm a gamer, this the Geek Show. Early in the morning I be cooking, see just what I'm making. It'll wake you up, that's awaken bacon. Other rappers gonna envy me. Wanna level up, yeah, I got my EXP. You better pack your bags, you gon' need a vacation. Father and a gamer like I'm Ryan Drayson. Moved up to a pro from a rookie. Shout out my man CHICHUKI. Becoming stronger in case you could not tell. Now welcome to the Gamerz realm.
I was just finding the right hat. I guess I'll wear this for now. But damn, welcome to The Gamers Realm episode 78. We are doing NES favorites and memories. If you have any bad ones, it's fine, or all favorites, whatever you got. But this is an interesting episode for us. I do myself is my name. See, I'm all like on jattery here. I'm CHRONOZ. Don't forget that. All right, I was Mr. Switch. I'm CHRONOZ here, and I got with myself here alongside. I got Ryan DRAYSON,
Hey,
co-host, and second co-host tonight we have the Switch Bit.
What's up?
Yeah, and the other guys that they might show up later on if they can. A lot of guys are running late. Master Source should be running in later on. I know he's busy right now. I'm getting out of shop. But again, with today's special, I wanted to do this a while ago. We did Super Nintendo. I think we did other ones before. So now's the chance to do our NES favorites. And just talk about memories and touching moments and just where all this came from. It's where most of us all started from. Maybe we had an Atari or so, but once we hit that NES box, it's the one that really we show a lot of love. How everything started. I was fairly young. I think I was about 5 years old when I had a NES in my hands, and so other than that, the song that we were just playing was from Master Sword. That was the Willie stage from Mega Man 2. So it was great that he that was his song. I got another one for him later on from Master Sword. Hopefully he shows up so you can hear that one. But with that being said, we can go ahead and start off with some NES memories, and we can start off with Ryan. Take your time, Ryan. If you got some of your favorites, you got a top 5 favorite games. If you have any special memories to go along with it, go ahead and you can just start from there.
all right, cool. Yeah. In terms of memories, like not special memory, not when I say not special, like so we had an NES at home from when I was about 5 as well, and my grandparents had one going back about the same time, like maybe slightly before I was 5. I don't remember, around the same time. And so literally, that was my grandparents on my mom's side. Literally every family get together, and my cousins had one too. Literally every family get together was around like playing NES. And usually with my mom's family, it was a lot of Tetris. That and original Mario Brothers are probably my most played NES games. Tetris isn't necessarily a favorite, just like it. I've just played a ton of it and watched people play a ton of it. It's a good game, but in terms of top 5, I don't know. I kind of had that out with like stuff that I played at my cousin's and have more played like since. So I definitely throw Mario Brothers 3 at the top of that list. My cousins had that one. We never had it growing up, so I only got to play it when I was there. And the game is just amazing. As far as I'm concerned, it's basically like it's on par with Super Mario World, which is running a lot more power, a lot better graphics processing, like everything that it's running off of is more advanced, but like Super Mario Brothers 3 arguably evenly holds a candle to that game, and in my opinion is the stronger Mario entry. Mario 1 is still always been a favorite. Other than that, like the Ninja Turtles, the first Ninja Turtles game where you had to, there was like a level that was all underwater and you had to stop these bombs. There was a level where you had to like jump, like you had to climb up through a building and jump from one roof to the other. I think it was the first Turtles.
You like that one?
Yeah, I enjoyed it well. Like I was a Turtles fan as a
That's
kid.
an unpopular opinion, so I was making sure because you said that underwater level, and I was like, ugh.
I mean, it was punishingly difficult, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, half plus of the games in that era, like NES is still arcade, like very built off the arcade feeling and the arcade style of like make it difficult, keep you putting time into it and like trying to figure out how to do it. And I mean, for an arcade, putting money in, you're not doing that with the NES, but yeah, no, it was punishingly difficult, but it was fun for me.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion or not, I enjoyed it, and I was like, oh, I love the Ninja Turtles. This is cool. I get to play something that I like watching on TV. That was still novel, I guess, at that young of an age. I don't know. I think I'd basically stop with just the. Or I mean, I guess like original Zelda and original Metroid, but frankly, I tried those well after I got into those series. So I don't know. I'm mostly throwing them in because just I love those series more than those specific entries. They have kind of the basis, but they're not by no means the greatest versions of those games. Yeah. So you want to throw it to someone else?
Is that that's your both your favorites and memories, or?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, real quick, let's welcome Katetsu into the.
What's up?
Okay.
Hey.
What's going on? Hopefully you guys can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
There's no
Let
problem.
me make sure
Yeah,
my volume
cool.
is up. Katetsu, I know you're kind of young. You got us memories and favorites as well.
No, I was. I mean, I was. How old was I? I think I was like 6 or 7 when I first played the NES. And of course, I was, like you said, I was young. I'm younger, so I was more the Super NES. But my grandmother had a NES. I don't know whose it was, but she had one. And I remember I used to come over, and I would always play either Super Mario. I don't remember if she had Metroid, Blaster Master, and Duck Hunt. Like those are the ones that she had all the time. I always came over and I always played those. And yeah, I mean, it looking back now, like I can say, okay, I wasn't around during the hype moment of the NES, but I at least got a chance to.
You caught on.
Yeah, I at least played it. Like deep down, I was like, man, I wish she had the Super NES because my cousin had one, and so I was like, man, I wish she had that because that had like all the games I wanted to play on there, like Turtles in Time and Mega Man and the one that no one likes, my cousin had Shaq Fu. I thought Shaq Fu was fun.
Hey, I gotta try this for real.
I thought it was fun. Like a lot of people give it hate, but I thought it was fun.
I had Shaq Fu on the Genesis, and I loved it.
Yeah,
I played it a lot.
It's one of those things where it's like you don't take it as serious as it's supposed to be. Like, yeah, he wanted a fighting game, but it's like, yeah, but it's like it's not like Street Fighter. It's not on the level of Street Fighter. It's just something you just jump in and just pick up. I didn't know anything. I just used to button mash every time I used to play. But yeah, those are the 3 main games on the NES that she had, and those that I used to play every day when I used to come over. And then when I got older, I had someone in my class. I think I was like freshman year of the summer school or something, and he was playing an old school Japanese DBZ game or Dragon Ball Z game, and I was like, how are you playing that? He's like, oh, there's something called emulator, and you get the NES emulator, and you just look for the ROM and you just play it. So that's what I did, and that kind of extended my NES kind of play. But I played like the old anime games that were on there that weren't released out here. So definitely my extension of NES. When I got older was through emulation. Like I didn't go through and play all of them because it was like still new to me how emulation worked. But I think that specific game is something I wanted to play, and I spent a lot of time on that. But that's pretty much where my experience for NES and memories come from the NES from there.
Okay, that's good. Ryan, real quick, going back to Ryan, did I miss anything? Did you have? Hope I didn't miss anything. Do you have any more memories or Which I didn't catch you off. Did you have any?
No, no. I
You were
said
good
the
on your
memories
part?
at the
Okay.
start. It's just like we got together all the time. Family get-togethers were just around the NES. No, yeah, there's not really like a specific memory. It's just it was ever present, basically. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's cool. You know, I'm gonna go ahead on my part. Um, for myself, playing, let's say, of course, I was like what about 5 or so, and playing Mario Bros. Always, it was more like me at first watching my older brothers because there's 7 of us brothers, and I was watching the 4 older brothers playing, and me, the young one, wanted to play, and they were always hogging up the system. But me, when I got a chance to finally play, I wasn't amazing at it. I was, 5, 6 years old, and I was, trying, but I still managed to get to it and love playing Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3. But for some reason, I got a fond memory of playing Operations Wolf. If you guys ever heard of that one, it was on the shooter. It's just crazy how like that game is just there, and especially the game called Jackal. Jackal had probably one of the best memories of watching my brothers play, but that's kind of like how I grew up watching them play Jackal. But Operation Wolf on my part, even the original Contra, had just the memories were with my brothers as we all kind of grew up together playing that for the first few years before the Super NES came out. But it was more like playing that NES versus Super. NES was all about we were all having a good time, having fun, taking turns. But when it was a Super Nintendo, we were always mad and breaking controllers for some damn reason. There's a difference, but it didn't happen to the NES. The NES was probably, for some reason, was it the games? But just when controllers started being broken on the next system, it was just like, psh. But either way, just the memories were amazing. They were great, and it was. I think it was how it started. I think my dad regrets it. My grandfather had brought us the NES system. He brought it to us, and that's how the craze started. And my dad looks at it like these days, like, why do you still play? He tells me even now, like, why is it you play games? Because I love games. Like, you could blame your dad on that one. I'll tell him the same thing, but it's like, rest in peace. But it's just like that's how sometimes it all begins. It's like I just remember through the years how it started, and people will always tell you, whether you're when I was playing the NES, going through the school years and trying to talk to other kids of what I was doing, I was always somewhat afraid to tell my friends I was playing Nintendo. Why? Maybe that's just how it was, but either way, there were great memories, and maybe could there have been any sad ones on my part? Maybe not everyone always supporting me as a kid playing my games when I was younger, but now today, like I said, I'm proud to. I got my 2 kids, and they're big gamers. My little Luigi is gonna be a gamer. I know. I already know it. He watches me and I'm playing, and he wants to play, but he's only 2 years old. But back to the NES, but the love is just it's amazing. It's what I've always enjoyed, and just enjoyed that the most part was just how everything began with the NES, with the Nintendo Entertainment System, and that's how it all started, and then everything else. But I did play the Atari, but that love of gaming was there with Nintendo. I think I might have played Atari, maybe Battlezone or something like that, but it just wasn't. It's just me trying something. But like I said, I'm maybe most of us. Did most of you guys start off with the NES, or were they? Well, Katetsu, you started off later on, but like for you other guys, did you guys start off with the NES, or were you playing something before, like Atari or?
I played the Atari first, but I didn't own the NES was the first console I owned. Like that was mine. Or, I guess I shared with my brothers. It was ours,
Ryan, was that your first system maybe you played?
Yeah. So my dad had a Atari 2600 from, I guess, from like college days. But he never brought that out until after we had bought and I don't know why, just like, I guess he kept it in storage and we were always playing NES, so I was like, oh, well, I have this other thing, and He hooked it up in his room, and I got to try that a bit too. But yeah, no, NES was the first thing I remember ever playing.
Okay, let's see. Click here. All right, so right, got most of us covered. In terms of, let's see, we're missing the Switch bit. Take your time. Take your time.
Okay.
So do you have any? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I brought a song that I'm debuting. I actually made it just for this podcast. Whenever you asked me to be on it, I had all these ideas pop in my head and made a song, and it covers a lot of it. If you want to play it first, and then I'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
That way
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
kind of,
What do you call it?
it's NES games, man.
NES games. Here it goes.
I'ma take a break from the Insta pics to tell you about the days I was 5 or 6 and I ain't ever even played a game before. When my bros brought home Moon Patrol, I was in trance, my eyes were starry. My bro let me know it's called Atari. A lifelong love affair started right there, and I played every game that my bros brought near. But it wasn't long before I got obsessed. We were walking in to see us on NES. A Sunday morning in my Sunday best, saw Mario running and I put him to the test. Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3, Zelda and Link was so dear to me, and I was never alone. I was playing Punch Out, getting TKOs and touchdowns and Tecmo Bowl, making my way to the top like gum. My bubble bobble never pop when I'm having this fun. I don't even know what to do. I can hop in a plane, 1942. I try to survive in the land of Clue Clue. Apollo and Zexus try to kill Jason, always perplexed us. Dr. Mario feeling infectious. Every new game somehow impressed us. I can kill Hitler, Bionic Commando. These Capcom games, man, there's nothing they can handle. Fighting nightmares with Nemo and Dreamland. Just like Kirby, I'll be living the dream. And these NES games done got my brain. I don't even know if y'all hearing me. About to go conspiracy. Paperboy, Popeye, Spy Hunter, one more try. Rushing attack on the field of track. Thinking about it, man, it takes me back. Captain Skyhawk felt like the best. And who can forget Festus Quest, Kung Fu Hogan's Alley, Balloon Fight, Duck Hunt, Metroid, Excite Bite. All these NES games. All these NES games, man.
Man.
Can I just say, how come no one can have an innovative beat? Everyone has to have the same track. Like yours is like it just fits.
It was
so perfectly. Like
dude,
especially
like,
when
it
you
got
were
me a
just
little
like so perfect. So perfect.
right. You're right on that, Katetsu. Holy moly, it got me a little fired up.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Emotion.
Yeah. I forgot about Excite Bite. When you said Excite Bite, I'm like, dang, yeah, right there in the corner. I remember.
There's
I
so
used to
many
play Excite
games.
Bite
So
too.
many games.
And
What's
I
up,
didn't-
J Love 81? What's going on? Welcome.
I didn't know Paperboy was on. Was it Paperboy that was on NES? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I played it
Yeah.
on. I played it on. I don't know if you guys heard Meme, like Meme 32, when they had it on like PCs and stuff. You can emulate the arcade stuff. I played it on there, but I didn't know it was on Super NES. Or
Yeah,
NES, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it was on NES.
Yeah.
There was so many games that got ported over from the arcade to the NES. Of course, most of them were inferior ports, but
Right.
that song was just kind of like nostalgia. Like everything I said, the games I talked about, those were like the games I played. My top 5 are in that song. I'll talk about them in a second. But I remember the first time I saw the NES, walking through the mall. I stopped at one of those little stations, and my mom had to pull me away. So I was playing Mario. I was so used to Atari, and now you could run all the way across. It's not just screen by screen by screen. So yeah, it was. Yeah, that was my number one first memory playing it, and I didn't have one for a couple years. My stepbrother did, and every opportunity I had to play. He had all the games too. He was spoiled. we grew up pretty poor. My stepbrother, he had
feel
everything,
that.
so I love going over there. And then I got my own when I was 8, so it was 91. I mean, Genesis was already out. Super Nintendo was almost out. But still, like, I lived in the NES. I played all the games. And I want to say, like, Ryan, you talked about how a family member had it. They played Tetris. And you were talking about how your grandma had it. And that was, like, something you don't see now. Back then, everybody's parents had Nintendo. And they were playing Dr. Mario and Tetris or whatever. The whole family was in on it. Nowadays, I feel like it's not like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I kind of miss about the NES days. But my top 5, I'm not gonna mention Mario, Zelda, none of that. I'm gonna talk about my top 5 games that nobody talks about. And number 1 on my list is this game right here. Can y'all see that?
Yeah, I think you mentioned that in your rhyme too. I saw that.
Yeah, sure
You
did.
mentioned that in your rhyme. Mm-hmm.
That
Oh, man.
my whole life I called the XZXYZ. I didn't know it was called Zexus until I was an adult. But this game is awesome. It's an Atlas game from Hudson Soft, you know, who made Bomberman and
Okay.
Adventure Island and
Yeah,
stuff. So
Okay.
that game's cool if you ever have a chance to play it. Moffat Conspiracy, which if you had you already played Go 13, it's the sequel to that. It's a Japanese manga they turned into a game. I don't know. It's real obscure. Fantastic game. Bionic Commando, obviously.
Oh yeah.
What's the one you mentioned? Blaster Master.
Blaster Master.
Yes. I had the book. Like, there was a Blaster Master book or Master Blaster book. Yeah. And then 4. I can't remember the 5th one I was gonna say. Oh yeah, it's fitting too because it was Spider-Man, the Sinister Six. Since we just got that Spider-Man trailer, I thought it was that too.
I can't wait for that movie.
Yeah, that looks
I was
amazing.
like, yeah, you guys, like, it was always, not to go off topic, but you know, you hear rumors of them bringing back the old Doc Ock, and you see, I was like, what was it, Alfonso or I forgot the actor's name, but when you see
Alfred
him
Molina.
there, yeah, when you see him, you're like, okay, this is real. This is real.
Yeah.
He's there. This is real.
Yeah. I played that game so much.
Real
for
quick,
some
guys,
reason.
just you guys, we do have another song later on for Swishbit whenever he's ready, and then we got I got something else. I won't say anything yet. That will pop up when the moment happens. But either way, go ahead, keep talking. Keep yapping.
No, you're good, man. As far as
that's-
memories go, it's just I mean, so much nostalgia. It was my childhood.
Yeah.
I went to school. That's all we talked about. It was like, oh, how did you find the heart piece in Zelda? Or, you know, how did you beat, you know, this boss or this fighter in Mike Tyson or whatever? Like, that's my whole childhood was just the NES. So I grew up a little bit, I think, before y'all did. Because Super Nintendo, I don't really have a lot of fondness for. NES is... Oh, I say NES. What do y'all say? You say NES, right?
I say
I say
NES.
NES. I'm NES. I say NES.
Yeah.
Okay.
NES
Alright.
is
Because I was
Super
used to, like,
NES, not NES.
because I was used to Super NES, and I'm like, oh, this must be the NES. So I just said NES. But
There's
I
a
still
lot.
get what people say when they say NES. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
it's not the character from Mother. It's
Yeah.
the console that they're talking about.
Exactly.
Right,
It's
right.
not the little kid from Earthbound.
Okay, yeah, that's it. If you want to play Mother Song now, since we're talking about that,
Okay.
you can do that. This one's a little more personal, though. And it's
a good-
shorter.
Yeah, this is a personal one. Yes, it's beautiful. I love it. So let's play it. Get your let me see. It's right here, and it's called. What is it called?
Player 1.
Player 1.
The NES. It came at a point in my life when things were a little bittersweet. It got me through a lot of tough times, and it helped me escape into a world. this one goes to my dad, the father that I never had. 8 years old, in the cold, I grew up feeling Minnesota. Went to his house for a week or so, fell in love with Nintendo. And maybe he paid attention to how much I enjoyed it, or paid for my love and affection just so that he could exploit it. Whatever the reason, man, I remember the day he handed me that present, and then I heard him say, I love you, son, this gifts for you. I'm player one, you my player two. I love you, son, this gifts for you. I'm player one, you my player two. Man. For a while after that, I thought my dad was the best. Almost 30 years later, and I ain't seen him since. But I ain't mad, don't hold no grudge. He brought me to these rules I love, that helped me grow to the man I know and the man I will become. And as I reminisce about the days when I was young, how I got my NES, but I lost my player one.
Wow,
Can I get that track, please? Because that was dope. That track was dope.
Yeah, you
Like, the
can.
whole
It's gonna
time
be in my
I was just
upcoming
like-
album.
I was just like this the entire time. Like, I didn't lose any. I was on the one the entire time listening to it. Like just to not go off topic. I'm an old school hip hop, like from like the night, like early '80s to like the late kind of '90s to like the early 2000s, where it was just innovative and all that. And when I hear music like that, it just puts me in that time machine where I'm like, this is where music was
both
good.
those songs right
and
away.
it was, and that one was just dope. And I can relate to that to aspect to where you were saying that, you know, he was the one who brought me into this world, because that's how my dad was. Like, the reason I even started playing video games was my dad used to like set up a computer for me, and it was I would put up a DOS command. That's where my whole programming came from. He was like, hey, go to DOS, put this command, and it'd be like, you know, my arcade. So I put it in. It's so like arcade games, games I can just go to, and just hit a number, and I'd just be sitting there playing, and he'll be right there playing with me. Like, that's why I love Tekken, because me and my dad used to play Tekken all the time at the arcades, and Ninja Turtles in Time. That's where we first. So when you were saying that in your lyrics, you were saying, you know, he brought me into this world. I feel that, because that's how I got introduced. Is my dad. He was like, look at this game. And we just, it's over with. It's over with.
Right.
Well, yeah, to give us a little feedback on that when you were making it. How did you know, was it like emotional making it, or was it just something that you got through, or did it take a while?
So sometimes I just write, you know, and I don't intend to make a song, but then I hear a beat and it gives you an emotion, and you're like, oh, this topic I was writing about, I mean, that would go really, really good with that. And that's kind of what happened there. My dad reached out to me a couple of years ago, and I chose not to respond to him on Facebook. And that's kind of eating away at me a little bit, because I don't hold a grudge. You know, he made the decision not to be in my life, but he also introduced me to video games, which is like, I mean, obviously my whole life has kind of, I don't want to say revolved around video games, but that's been something I've used to escape, as coping mechanisms, for comfort, for solace, all that stuff. So,
Yeah,
you know, I have to be thankful that he provided that, and I just wanted to get those thoughts out into the
you
world.
know what? I know. Is that maybe? I hope maybe later on. You know, even I'll tell you. I hope maybe one day you can maybe just speak some words. You know, if not, that's you. But maybe one day things can resolve, and you know, either way, it's very. What an amazing beat, both songs, and it just
Yeah, that last one was dope.
Appreciate it.
It was short and sweet. It was short and sweet. You didn't need a hook. It was just short and sweet, right to the point. You know, it's like cool. And then what you already painted a picture with the lyrics, and then just to have the animation just kind of like pull like
Hey, guy, can you hold up one second? Could Tetsu apologize? Got someone coming in right now. Who can it be?
Yo.
What's up? James Leiter?
Yo. What's going on, boys?
What's happening?
Going on? Yeah.
Wow, that was dope, Twitch bit. That was awesome. I
Appreciate
didn't
it,
know
man.
how to come in. I was like, Katetsu's talking, and I'm like, do I click enter now? What the heck's going on? Here's this face talking. can't see who I am, but yo, it's really good to be on here. And that song was amazing, man. That was really nice.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a great to been bugging this guy for a while just to get him on here, and I do want to do a special one later on where it's just all about James Leiter. He deserves the hot spot too, and we'll get to that one day in an episode once we prepare for it. But just to have you here, James, it's amazing. I know you and Switchbit go way back, and and I wish the Master Sword was here. Look, he's just late, or he's running off of work. Hopefully he can get home and jump in with us. We'll be on for a little bit more. Either way, it's amazing to have the opportunity to have you here. So let's get straight to the
Happy to be here, man. See all your names. I never have communicated with you by voice this entire time, so it's cool to. Hey guys, how's it going?
How's it going?
Hello.
Hello.
James Leiter, let me ask you, since you're here, give us your NES favorites, and if you have some memories for us.
Oh yeah, I do. I actually I started on the SNES, but all my friends at the time had an NES, and I remember there was this wrestling game. I'm not sure if it was King of the Ring or Pro Wrestling, but we would play, and then my buddy and I, he was this Italian kid down the road. My family is Italian. Mm-hmm. I know my last name doesn't look it, but my real alter ego is Italian, I guess. But yeah, we used to play this game, and when the disc or when the cartridge would have a problem and it would freeze, we'd just pick up our action figures and start like smashing them against each other.
Oh my gosh.
We would continue the game in real life. But
Oh my gosh.
I remember Duck Hunt. That was a lot of fun. I had a cousin that would always hook that up, and he was a little bit older, so he would just let me kind of shoot at the screen. I did have a friend whose dad was he like mastered Dr. Mario with one hand because he was a farmer and hurt his left hand. So he actually like figured out how to beat Dr. Mario with his right hand. I never saw it, which is a regret, but my buddy who, when I grew up with him, told me he could. So now that there's no photo evidence or anything, I don't know if it's true, but it is a cool story if it's true. But yeah, I always remember that big world in Mario. I guess it would have been Mario 3. Because I had it on Super Mario All-Stars on the SNES or SNES. And that, what's that music? There's like that cool music in the big world, but there's that that one world. But yeah, the music really stuck with me from those games. NES was sweet.
Sweet.
I'm going a mile a minute here because it's exciting to be on the show.
It's all good, man.
Take your time. Let me see. I do want to go ahead and play an amazing piece that you have made. I want to play. I got two choices from James Leiter. Let me see. Where is it? Oh, I love this one. Give me 1 second. Wait, where is it? It's right here. All right, guys. Here we go. We're gonna play a great piece from James Leiter. It's Metroid Guitar Melody. Amazing. Amazing.
Can I ask you a question? Because I'm very observant when it comes to stuff like that. Were you playing like different like guitars for each part of that song, and you were capturing that in your video, or just like you know you have like the bass, the electric, and then you have were you doing that in your video? I don't know how to explain it, but yeah,
I hear you. Yeah, Katetsu, that video has each of my 5 main guitars, I guess, that I've always used to record with. And the song has a part recorded with each of those guitars. I tried to make it. It might not be the parts that I'm playing them on because I actually had to overdub the video with the music. But yeah, there's 5 different guitars going in that video, so there's a lot happening.
So cool.
Because that's cool. Yeah, because like when I watch a lot of people, they do covers. There's always like one angle, one shot, and one guitar. Or some people they'll have like different screens of different guitars. But with you, like you have, and if you know, there's like different angles to that, which just kind of made it more engaging. You're like, oh, he's going in this angle. Oh, he's doing a shot like right in front of him, or he's having a camera like up close here, but it's shooting from like the angle to the right or something like that. And I thought that was cool, you know. And then of course you jumping back to different Metroid games, and I want to say I think you're giving CHRONOZ a little bit of hope because I saw Metroid Prime in there. A couple times, baby. And I know he's waiting for 4. And I know he was probably losing hope. I think you brought that back.
James Leiter brings hope to the community.
Metroid.
Yeah.
Thanks for noticing all that stuff, man.
Yeah, like I said, I'm very like I'm like, oh, that's cool. I like how you do like because like I said, everyone when they do their rearranged songs and they do a video, you kind of just see them like in one spot, like one take. You know what I'm saying? But and it's like everything else has happened already, but it's like one thing. You're showing like, hey, I'm using this guitar for this part. Hey, I'm using this guitar for this part. Oh, I'm gonna show you a shot here that shows you me playing a different guitar. And I respect that. I think that's really I thought it was great.
I feel like it made it more dramatic. The angles.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, man.
Great editing.
That's the intent.
And the lighting too helped that as well.
Sweet. No,
that was
cool,
man. That was really cool. We need to collab too. Just FYI.
I was gonna say it would be super cool to like organize something on this stream so that it becomes a piece of history. That Switch bit lighter, and if Master Sword were here, if you guys
we'll
want
to schedule it, we'll work with Master Sword's timing. We'll do something like we did before. I did it with Master Sword at 6. We'll try to do. Last time was 6:30. I was late coming from work, but we'll try to hit it sooner for him, so that way there's no, because right now it's just the time for him. Us starting later
it's scheduling.
Was hard for him.
Conflict.
So I'm hoping maybe he still might make it, but if not, we will do something to get the 3 of you guys on to just like blow away everybody.
We'll have to come up with a piece. Yeah,
we will.
We'll have take the time, prepare. It'll take time, and it will be amazing. And we will do a lot of like tweeting and preparing. And whether it's a month or 2 in advance, we will prepare it and things like that. It would be great. But back real quick to your video, it's great. It's well put together. It's like great. Where did you learn your editing skills? Just through the years, or did you? It's great. I mean,
thank you, man. I did some I guess some radio jobs where. Like you're covering like street crews when I was a teenager and early 20s. So you have to like put together videos and stuff. And they were using Adobe Premiere. And just got kind of familiar with that one. And there's a lot of stuff it can do. So that I'm always learning how to do more with it. And it, like you guys are saying with lighting and whatnot, you could kind of make the whole thing happen before you even shoot it if you have some cool areas to shoot, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun. It's just a hobby, I guess. It was fun.
Yeah. Real quick, James, Lighter, do you want us to go with your second piece right now?
Yeah, sure. If you're feeling it.
You guys ready? You guys feeling it?
Mm-hmm.
We got F-Zero guitar cover.
Oh yeah.
Switch Lighter. That last piece.
Yeah, again, that's just cool. Like I think there you see yourself playing the different notes on each guitar. Like when you start with do 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 do, and then the next guitar is do 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 do. Like you see yourself doing the strums on
Yeah.
those, and that's really good stuff.
Thanks,
good
man.
stuff.
And that
Yeah, we're making
soundtrack
a
lends
live
itself
concert.
so well
Yeah.
to that
Concert
music.
coming soon.
Yeah, and like, I was thinking about this too when I was watching it. I said, like, all we have James Leiter and we have Switchbit here. I say you guys are the reasons why I love arranged video games music, because it's like the essence is there, but you're just like amplifying it and like using the relevance of the technology and the sound of right now, and you're just making it sound better. So definitely
man.
sound really good.
I would
Thank you,
love
guys.
to take that music and just replace the soundtrack of F-Zero. And like, so it's not like that MIDI, you know?
That's a tall task right there, doing that whole soundtrack. I'm gonna need another hand. No, that soundtrack. That I know I don't have any NES stuff on here, so it's kind of cheating. But that F-Zero game, like the relay of speed, I guess is what's trying to happen in that video. And yeah, that game is just so much fun. I hope they bring that. Like, are they ever going to do anything there again?
It's F-Zero, sadly, is a IP that Nintendo has kind of tossed to the side, and I think I've always wanted to play an F-Zero game. I've never played it. I've seen it. It looks great, and it sucks because they have Mario Kart, so they're like, why do F-Zero? So it's kind of unfortunate.
Oh, man. Yeah, they need to just come out with F-Zero GX from the GameCube.
Yeah.
Amazing game. They don't even have to do much to that. They could just re-release it and it would probably sell a lot.
That one looked good.
Amazing. Yeah. It had a story mode and everything. Anyways.
Yeah. Kotetsu, you think they'll ever bring back Shaq Fu?
No, they gave us a second game, but it wasn't like the same.
No, it was like Streets of Rage or something.
Yeah, like when I saw, like I remember they announced it. What, the second one?
Yeah.
It's hard to compare the two because there are two different genres. It wasn't like it wasn't like they said, "Hey, Shaq Fu is just another fighter." They just made it into a beat 'em up.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, okay.
Just fun clicking away.
Okay, like it'd have been cool if they like gave us some throwback, but they didn't.
Yeah.
But it was like I said, I never took it seriously. I took it for what it was, and I had fun with it.
Yep.
You know, like it had some great tracks. Like some of the I think that is Shaq Fu is probably one of my favorite OSTs. One of my favorite OSTs on the NES or the Super NES.
Mm-hmm.
It had some great tracks on there, like really great tracks on there.
I'm gonna give it a listen again.
Listen, yeah.
Yeah,
like, as soon as you say that, I'm like, I gotta go.
We're gonna have the Shaq Fu
It had
album.
some cool. It had some. I'm serious. Like it had some cool tracks on there, man. Like I remember like when I used to play, like before we even start, this music would start, and I'd just be like, all right, let's start. And I just and then like when I got older, I said, man, Shaq Fu had some cool. Like, how can I find them? And I found them on YouTube, and I just like dumped them all on my old hard drive when I had it, and I would just like be in my car and I just listened to like the Shaq Fu stage.
Awesome.
They had some cool ones, man. They sounded good. They sounded really
I
good.
wonder if Shaq ever listened to that on his own time.
Yeah. Right?
I would
and
if I were him.
I would too.
Just because he did music he was doing music during that time
Yeah,
too. So I would
that's
imagine
true.
that
He had an album.
he wouldn't. Yeah, he wouldn't. He would have that archive somewhere. Or like, and then just come back and do like take those tracks and like put some lyrics on top of them. Like that'd be crazy if he did that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I can't believe this is episode 78. This is nuts. This is kind of where we come from since April. Was it April 13th of last year when everything had started, and I switched from Mr. Switch and Turn Up Our Life to Gamerz Realm, and it's just a podcast, something to chill, and little less gaming it, just and here we are today to 78 enjoying, some good NES talk and NES talk. I meant NES.
Whatever you say, man.
Whatever we
One love.
Just talking about our love and listening to amazing music, inspirational stuff from Master Music, from Switchbit to James Leiter. And it's just kind of cool. We got big things to come, and just as we move forward, and I will do what I can the next few days and kind of retweet this episode. I'm gonna start doing it with episodes and just retweeting them to get more people to watch and to catch good parts from the whole stream. So it's definitely great. I will have a question for everybody real quick. Is are any of you guys playing are you playing NES online on Nintendo Switch, and are you actually purchasing or buying any original game cartridges from NES?
For me,
whoever wants to go first.
For me, like I said, like I don't want to say it wasn't an era where I didn't play games and I wasn't interested, because it's like everyone has a system that they felt at home with when they first started. Like for example, like with Switchbit, he said, I wasn't with Super NES, but the NES was like, this was it for me. This is where I started, and I always show love to it. And for me, I'm not saying I didn't show love to when I first got it. I downloaded it and I played games. It was cool, but I spent more of my time on the Super NES online stuff they had, because I felt like that was when my gaming experience really kicked off there. And they're not ever going to do Sega Genesis ever. That would be dope if we see it, because that's where I started too. Yeah. Oh man, Streets of Rage 2, 3, Sonic, but I didn't put too much time in the NES. I put more time in the Super NES online package on there.
I like the online just because I can show my wife the games that I played instead of having to like find the cartridge and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So we can play together on her Switch and my Switch. We can play in separate rooms, and we can play online, or she can watch me play Zelda, or I can help her through like the hard parts. That's kind of cool, but I prefer to like try to hunt down the cartridges just for nostalgia, even if I don't play them. I don't know. I'm a collector that way.
And to get that content for
behind those
games, behind those games too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's getting harder to find deals though.
I don't know. I've never even played this one, but I have this one.
What is that? Oh, it's, TNC Surf Factory.
Wood and Water Rage. It's weird. I just don't know how I ended up with it. But also another game that I didn't know I actually had with me. I'm like, how did this get in my room?
I remember Kung Fu. I remember that.
Yeah. I hated that game. I hated it. But the thing about NES...
Wasn't that game like a one-shot and then you had to start all over again if you get hit or something like that?
I remember being really frustrated. Like, maybe you had to go back to the beginning of the level, but like it was just very repetitive. But like, that's the thing about the NES. He was talking about, Ryan was talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1, and a lot of people like, poo-poo on that game. I don't like it very much, but he loves it. And there's games I love that y'all probably don't like.
Yeah.
And that was a time before the internet, and you had some magazines, but it was really just whatever games you could get your hand on or borrow from a friend. You didn't have this plethora of games to play, so you wound up just diving into these like bad games and loving them and having nostalgia 30 years later for them, And that's really cool too.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, when you say borrowing, I'm sorry, man.
No, go ahead, James.
I once traded Super Nintendo, like before internet, I guess. I traded Addams Family Values, Vegas Stakes, and one other terrible game to get Super Mario Kart from a buddy. And like I kept it for so long, like months, and he was so mad and wanted the game back right away. It just reminded me of that, little things like that.
Yeah,
horrible trade for him.
Memory.
Taylor Williams, you still have Maximum Carnage for Sega Genesis from
I
1995.
remember that game.
If you're seeing this, yeah, he moved away. I let him borrow and he moved, man.
He moved because
He
of
knew he was
that.
moving away. He didn't want to tell you. Took that game.
Oh man.
Go ahead, James Slider. Do you want to answer that question? Are you hunting down these games? Are you still playing them on all? Or?
Yeah, unfortunately not on NES, but I've always collected Super Nintendo games, and the last one I grabbed was just a nice copy of Star Fox. I already had it.
Oh, nice.
Like you guys are saying, you know, like if you see it sometimes and it's cheap, you just grab it, or it's a good price, whatever.
Yeah.
But I've been meaning to get a Switch for so long because I know they do have the online, the full library basically, or most of the library.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to answer that question, the last one would have been Star Fox. Before that, I think might have been Star Fox 64. So
Ooh,
big into Star Fox too.
that's
Another dead
an amazing
franchise.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yep. Let's see. How about Ryan? What you got?
I don't do much collecting, to be honest. I only have a couple older things. Like I just don't have the space, and I used to have a decent collection, but like then I was married back then, and we had kids, and then all of a sudden, my budget for gaming is gone.
Yeah.
So I had to trade stuff in to buy new games, unfortunately. Now I just don't have the space to put stuff. So I really just have Prime Trilogy on Wii. I have nothing to play it on, but I have a copy of that. And I have my original SNES is in the closet with Donkey Kong Country. So no, I don't have any NES games currently. And honestly, my nostalgia is mixed between NES and SNES. As I said before, like earlier in the podcast, NES is very much, to me, it's still like the DNA of how games played in the arcade. And then kind of SNES is more kind of moving towards... like there was a lot more growth in the RPG and adventure genres, I felt, which are genres that I tend to prefer, to be honest. So it's not like I don't have a nostalgic love for the NES, but it's more like I like certain specific titles, and they're not really necessarily the games that you would expect that I would like based off what my favorite franchises are. So I spend more time with the SNES on. I think it's almost like double the hours I put into the SNES online relative to the NES. Yeah, I think that covers what you were asking me.
Okay. What was I gonna ask you guys? For those who have the on the Switch, are you disappointed with what you got so far on the NES titles? Do you want more? Like, I want to see the original Batman. I'm not gonna see. I think we spoke about it many times before, but
The original what?
other games,
Batman.
Huh?
Oh,
The original Batman, or
Yeah.
just like, or what you know, I would have said Contra, but they would have the Contra pack or something like that separately. But like games like Jacko or other games that I've liked, it's just not there. It's all probably licensing or whatever else, and it's so difficult.
I think that's the
but
deal. Yeah.
I wish that it was easier, like in the Wii days, where you
Virtual
had
console,
almost
yeah.
every library. You know, like, God, why is it so hard now than it was then? You know,
Yeah.
or in the Switch Shop channel, why don't we get any music? That was just something for me. You know,
It's
know.
frustrating. Like the NES titles are, I mean, they have all the big hitters from Nintendo, and then some random games I've never played, which is fun. You know, I don't have a whole lot of nostalgia for them, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time in them. But yeah, like we was killing it on all systems. So I mean, I still have all those games on my Wii U, thank goodness. But honestly, I'm getting to the point where I'm just going to download an emulator and play on a tablet because I mean
that's the unfortunate thing about that. Like, I think during the Wii, I think it was just easier to be able to do that. To be able to say, hey, we're just going to bring a lot of our stuff over to the Wii shop or the Wii Virtual Console, and that licensing stuff was probably easier. It wasn't much red tape, but they're like, you know what, it's with that. But I think now with the Switch and everything, instead of just saying let's just go through the hassle and getting all these, they're just like, no, let's just bring our own stuff. So then we're not having to pay for licensing and go back and say, hey, we want, or go back and say, hey, we want Mega Man X for the Super NES. So we got to go talk to Capcom, and even though we did it, it's still there. Even though it's on our console, it's still their game. So we got to give them something to have it over here, and it's probably a lot more now than it was back then. So I think it's just, it's hard, and that's why a lot of people say emulation should be it's about preservation in those games, and I think the topic of emulation is such a there's so many sides. There's so many.
I go back
sides.
and forth, honestly.
So many sides to that.
But if you take a look at go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like too that there's probably like a huge difference in terms of licensing to say, like, we're gonna sell this item, people can buy it and download it, and it's a one-off purchase. I imagine that's pretty easy to manage the licensing for, and like who's getting what money, compared to essentially basically like a Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever. Like the way that they're doing the Switch Online is basically more like that. Like, how do you even, as just like an average person, how do you even figure out like what someone's supposed to get? Like, obviously there's lawyers involved and they figure that out, but like it's got to be more complicated and more,
there's so much red tape behind it,
less agreeable for sure.
Because it's pretty cheap. People pay what, $4-5 a month when it comes down to it. How do you split that into a bunch of different companies? But then you have Konami, they have a collection again, Castlevania collection. You have Disney Afternoon collection. You have Mega Man collections. These companies are releasing their own compilations. So they're like, why do I even have to put it on Nintendo service? We can just release it ourselves.
Just imagine what Nintendo makes in a month off of these subscriptions. That's crazy.
But Switchbit's right. Like, they can just say, why don't we just like with the whole Mega Man Zero thing is like, why do we have to give Nintendo that? Let's just put it all in one, make it look nice, and just give it to everybody. Because in the end, we're making that money ourselves. We're not relying on, like Ryan said, having to say, okay, well, how many times this game was played on here? Okay, how do we split that up, and how do we split up the percentages of how many people bought this and played? Because you can't. It's hard to kind of narrow that down, because, like I said, it's not like physical sales. It's like streaming sales. But then it's like the only way they can stream if they get this. It's they probably figured it out, but it's still like, okay, but what about this?
It wouldn't make sense.
Forget it.
Like if every time they played it, like every time somebody plays one of my songs on Spotify, I get like 1/3 of a cent. Like, it would be like that, and these companies would be like, no.
Exactly. Because like Nintendo would get the majority of that, and then whatever was left, Capcom or Konami would get it. It's just like, and I recently learned about how streaming works, and I was like, that's kind of the streaming company gets the majority of that, and then the artist just gets like the pennies that are like sitting around. It's like, that's crazy
for sure. How's that NES? It's like the little mini NES that plugs right into a TV. Like, how many games are on that? Whoa.
Sorry. He mentioned it, and I had to pull it out.
I'm sending you my address.
It's one of my favorites. All right, sorry to interrupt.
No problem. That was pretty legendary.
The NES Classic was what it's called?
Yeah, the little guy.
Classic.
Yeah, that had what, like 20 games on it, I think? 20 or 30?
Yeah.
I liked it. It was pretty cool.
The worst thing about working at Toys R Us was having to deal with people.
30.
You have NES Classic? NES Classic? No, we don't have it. No, we don't have it. And then Super NES Classic. Yeah, Super NES Classic? No. And I worked in electronics, so I knew how many we got.
Yeah, the N64 coming out soon.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah.
They
they're gonna stop. Yeah, I I saw something on Twitter and someone mentioned something Dreamcast. I'm like, I would love a Dreamcast, just the essential
Mini?
Dreamcast games. I would
Yeah.
love that because I would
All the fighting
love
games.
I would love the game I really want to play is Power Stone. I really want to go back and play Power Stone on the Dreamcast. I think Power Stone set the tone for those kinds of games because it was like the pre-beta to those types of fighting games that's being released now. So but man, I miss Power Stone so much.
And it's super expensive now. Like that's a game where I'm like, I'd just rather emulate than pay $100 for or whatever.
Yeah, I remember. I think I told the story once where it was like I got my first $100 like ever. I got my first $100 in high school, and I was like, "What do I want to get?" And I just like spent all of it on a Dreamcast and Power Stone.
Nice.
And they're like, "Where's your money?" I'm like, "Oh, I got this." I'm like, you bought this, and that's it. I'm like, "That's what I wanted. I didn't want anything else. I just wanted a Dreamcast again." It was so much fun.
Ryan, are you crying?
No, I'm not. No,
The memories.
no, I never. No,
Jesus,
no,
Joey.
I just fixed my glasses.
Oh.
No.
Contessa, where you go?
My camera's acting stupid right now.
Well, you froze there.
I don't know why.
Went into the void.
Yeah, my camera's acting stupid.
Talking Dreamcast,
I'll just go like this.
I gotta have
Guys, real quick.
Skies of Arcadia again.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
I need to have a way to play that.
Yeah.
I always wanted to play that. I hear good things. I have a friend who
It's
talks
very
about the game
good,
all the
yeah.
time, and I'm like,
If
"All
you
right,
like,
I gotta
if
play.
you like RPGs and like pirates,
It's
I
so
have
cool.
I have a real quick story
Airships.
before. Like, I wanted to get Skies of Arcadia, but and this would made me fall into fall in love with another series. So I wanted to get Skies of Arcadia for the GameCube once.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure what the box looked like, so I got another game called Tales of Symphonia.
Oh,
That's also a
looked
great game.
somewhat
that's a great game
close to
too.
that.
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
was playing it, and I'm like, "This game is amazing." And I was like,
Yeah.
"But it's not." Then Then I looked. Oh, this is not the game I wanted. But
I was say, were you waiting for pirates to show up the whole time?
I don't know. I never see. All I saw was I never looked at the game. I saw the box art, and I was like, "I want this." So
Yeah.
I went. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
I went to when Blockbuster was a thing. I went to Blockbuster,
Yeah.
and I grabbed Tales of Symphonia instead. And I'm like, "Okay, getting the wrong game made me fall in love with the Tales of series because I grabbed the
that's
wrong
awesome.
game."
Symphonia.
Hey guys,
Symphonia
I
is a
wanted
great
to
game,
play
for
a second video from Master Sword, but the second one he gave me, it was unable to load. I did play his first song was in the intro of the podcast, but just to make up for it, I know he had one the time we had him before, so I want to just kind of play a quick from him. That was the last time I had him, just to make sure I got two of everybody. I had, I got two from Lighter and Switchbit, and let's play one real quick.
You
I
don't have
liked
any
it. I
videos
loved
from
it.
me.
It's called
You have videos from me.
Drop
You
a
don't have anything
beat.
from me.
favorite
Sweet
game
16.
from favorite game from Master Sword Music.
Master Sword Music.
DJ the Gamer. DJ the Gamer. We got another one. I know it's been a while, but ain't a thing changed. Without you in my life, it just won't be the same. I can't stop playing with you. You're like my favorite game. You're like my favorite game. Girl, you're like my favorite game. I know it's been a while, but ain't a thing changed. Without you in my life, it just won't be the same. I can't stop playing with you. You're like my favorite game. You're like my favorite game. Girl, you're like my favorite game. Just call me the king of dragons, cause I know I make you hot. So hot. Licky tongue. I'ma treat you like a lollipop. And I won't stop. Until you drop. Chasing you like GTA. I'm a 5-star cop. Just like a star girl, you are blazing. It's so amazing. I want you right here and right now. I'm losing my patience. Like Bowser when he hit the flow, I'ma leave you shaking. I'm talking straight back breaking and earthquaking. like Gran Turismo. This ain't no simulation, no virtual reality, this is real stimulation. To see it in your eyes, you want me, no hesitation. Soon as you touch me, it go up like a rising nation. I know it's been a while, but ain't a thing changed. Without you in my life, it just won't be the same. I can't stop playing with you, you're like my favorite game. You're like my favorite game, girl, you're like my favorite game. I know it's been a while, but ain't a thing changed. Without you in my life, it just won't be the same. I can't stop playing with you, you're like my favorite game. You're like my favorite game, girl, you're like my favorite game. You set me off every time, cause you my chrono trigger. In the San Francisco rush, just to get to you quicker. Must admit it feels so good, and I can't take no more. Shorty got that down on my head, and I'm about to explode. Maybe that was too much, but I can't stay quiet. R.I.P. to her body, need a moment of silence, cause I stayed that spire. Now she warm and tired, she was calling on the beast, dinosaur for hire. Call me for duty, now it's a war zone. And I never been a skeleton, but I gave a bone. And once she got a taste, now she can't leave me alone. Baby sound just like a zombie, cause I can hear her moan. I know it's been a while, but ain't a thing changed. Without you in my life, it just won't be the same. I can't stop playing with you, you're like my favorite game. You're like my favorite game, girl, you're like my favorite game. I know it's been a while, but ain't a thing changed. Without you in my life, it just won't be the same. I can't stop playing with you, you're like my favorite game. You're like my favorite game, girl, you're like my favorite game.
I know that was a little bit off topic.
Well, you got favorite games,
Great
right?
tune.
Yeah,
It's
right.
amazing, though. It's amazing.
Right.
I like how there was a Rise of Nations sexual reference.
Right. Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk to him about that.
So I wanted to make, that's all I had. I wanted to get the other one. It was NES related, but it just, I don't know, for some reason this thing didn't take it. It was the file was too large. I should have
Was it an already released song that he had? Or?
Yeah, I think that was like what, a couple weeks ago.
No, the one that he couldn't play.
Oh.
Yeah, the one. Wait, what is it called? Let me see if I can look it up. The one. No, I got the Mega Man I had. Let's see, what's it called? It's called Unbreakable. Determination. It's his Ninja Gaiden one.
The Ninja Gaiden. I didn't see that.
TJ puts in so much work. Like that dude.
Yeah.
I've been working on my album for like a year and a half, and he can like. I don't know what's going on in his brain, but he can just spit this stuff out so quick.
Yeah, you know how like I think what it reminded me of, it was either I was watching something either for like Tupac or DMX, where they were just like once they get in, they just write, they hear it, they just write, in like half an hour, they're like, let's do it, I got it, let's do it right now,
let's go.
Yeah,
and then you have like vaults of music. Like
there's another artist I listen to. His name is Sky Zoo. He's the same way. He's like because he ghost writes. So when he hears something, he's like, all right, got it. All right, let's go. Let's do it right now. Do it right now. And it's just like, and with him, like when he first got back, he was like, okay, that's his first song. I'm like, oh, he has another one next. I'm like, all right, cool. And it's like, it was just coming out. And I was like, God, you already got your album done in like a week.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy. Well, I'm in constant communication with him, and like we're collabing all the time. So like I get to see his creative mind, like I guess secondhand. But it's insane. So you'll have to have him on here again.
Yeah, we will. I'll make sure that we plan it. We'll plan it with him, and that way we can all time it with him. I'll ask everyone so that when everyone for sure guaranteed. We'll do it in a few weeks. That way it gives everyone a chance to, figure out their schedules. Again, I hope to, for of course, Switchbit you'll be on, and James Leiter. Hope you like this. Jumping in, we'll have an in-depth interview. Hopefully soon. We'll talk later about that.
That was awesome.
So I'm glad that we had a great opportunity to have you. Let's kind of get towards the end here of the podcast. But does anyone have any last minute NES or anything you want to talk about before we close out, or any closing statements? We can start off with Ryan Drayson.
Yeah, I kind of want to throw back to something Switchbit said. When he was saying about how I mentioned that like every family get together was around NES and had said that like you don't really, or there's that sense of that missing that doesn't really happen anymore. The other thing that he mentioned that I feel like it happens but it doesn't anymore like the same is when Switchbit was talking about talking on the playground about like, oh, I found this heart container
Yeah, I
there,
was gonna
or
say that too. Yeah.
I found that like upgrade whatever over like doing this. My son, he's 11 now. He talks about like talking about Fortnite because all the kids play Fortnite, of course, at school. But like none of them are like, oh, these are the tips that I learned for playing this game, or there's no conversation like there used to be. There's just like, oh, I won this many matches, or I did this or I did that. Like it's a totally different conversation, and there's huge pieces of what used to make like that playground school time talk about gaming fun that you just don't have anymore because you can go online and find like where every heart piece is in Zelda, or
there's no mystery.
Name whatever game, you can find a walkthrough for it.
Yeah. And it's so hard to try to do one and done. Where they're just like, I need this. I don't feel like looking. All right, video, Zelda, look for this heart piece.
YouTube,
cool. You just do it. That's like our new gamer guide now. YouTube is our gaming guide now.
It is, yeah, for sure.
It is.
Okay, I'll go ahead and Kutetsu.
Sorry, I was drinking my water, getting my daily thing of water in. Like I agree with Ryan. Just going back to that too. That I feel like the older generation still does it. The gamers who still like know how to like, hey, how do you do this? How do you do this? Or like, hey, you know what? I can. Or it was like, hey, like I can carry you. If we play this together, I can get you there. Or hey, you know what? Get here, do this, da da da. You're like, okay, cool. But yeah, nowadays, like the younger generation is just like, you find a video on it, and not all videos are very instructive. I'll definitely mention that. I'll say that. Like I was playing Fortnite, and I was trying to figure out how to do this one thing, and everyone's like, yeah, you just do this, and I'm like, you're just regurgitating what I'm reading on the screen. You're not showing me anything. You're not showing me anything. And I think that's what helped me make my videos, because I'm like, yo, if I want someone to walk me through it, I want to see it being done. So that's what encouraged me to do that. But yeah, there's that, and it's actually cool, man, to be able to talk to James Leiter. I heard a lot of great things, and then Switchbit. It's always great to talk to you here and hear music, and same with Ryan and CHRONOZ. And I'm gonna just say this right now, like, yo, if you need another person to be on a track, I'm learning how to write. I'll learn how to write, and I'll throw down if I can. But,
that's awesome.
Because I used to write poems, so like that whole kind of thing is a little bit natural to me a little bit. So, but yeah, if you need someone to throw down on you, or I can harmonize.
I want to hear Kutetsu do some rapping.
I'll harmonize. I can probably flow, but I mean, we gotta
practice makes perfect.
Behind doors.
I'll send you a track, man. I really will. Yeah, I got a couple that need a guest spot. Just see if you can
do it, and then I'll just marinate on it and just be like, all right. Let me see where I can come up with.
Okay.
Challenge for
That's exciting. I love it. Yeah.
This is my challenge, man.
Cool. Trying new things. This is a nice thing to hear, and so always good. I'm not gonna do that. Don't even count me in on.
Oh man, come on.
Come on, some rap now. I'm good. Oh, that good. Are you good, Kutetsu? Anything you want to?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, and then thank you for allowing me to come on here today. Appreciate
Kutetsu, I gotta be honest with you. When I texted yesterday, I wasn't this morning. I was actually messing with you. My bad. I was just like, then I was like, I'll tell them later.
No, you know what? Just real quick, when I saw it, I was like, okay. I was like, I guess I'll stream today. But I was like coming from Santa Monica, so I was like, I'll get home and stream today. Then I was like, I'm too tired to stream. Then I woke up and I saw you say, "Oh yeah, no, you can come on." I was like, "All right, yeah, I guess I'll come
I
on."
was telling him he couldn't come on. I was mad. I was like, I always have him on, when he asks, So yeah, it was great. Switchbit.
I don't really have much else to add. When you do a Sega Genesis one,
Yes,
I
to
definitely.
be honest,
Oh, yeah.
to be
I wanna be on
honest, that's what I've actually. The next ones are GameCube and Genesis.
Okay, because
I don't know
if you
if
see
those
my
two
shirt,
first.
I don't know if you can see my shirt or not.
Oh yeah, that's the okay. Oh, that's off your
Sweet.
I'll probably
the
hit
song
off
too, my
Genesis.
Yep.
That's
Yep,
dope.
yep.
Maybe Genesis first because we do a lot of Nintendo, so I should probably give a little Sega love. 'Cause
Genesis is my
I like that Genesis
favorite
track
system.
too. Love that Genesis. When you did that, my Genesis, I was like, yo, that.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
I'm a
dope.
Genesis kid too, so I was listening to it. I was like, yo,
Oh.
James is like, ooh.
I'm with it. I'm with everything. he said.
I love the Sega Genesis. Like more than the NES has more like emotional ties to it. Being my first foray into video games, the Genesis was ooh.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
want to hop
crazy.
on that too.
I'll be down for that one too.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, all right. Anything else, Switchbit? All right,
man.
James Leiter.
Well, yeah, it was awesome to be on tonight. Like I was saying before, I see all your names and have watched the broadcast, if you can call it that. And you call it a broadcast, right? Or what do you call it?
Podcast, broadcast, yeah, same.
Okay, nice. So yeah,
Show.
a show. So it was cool to be on, and yeah, I don't know, Katetsu, if you've been writing poetry, you got a strong voice, so yeah, I would try that. And
Yeah. Cause I thought
For
about
sure.
it. I've messed around with it, and then, like recently, like I just been like on this weird thing, man, where I'm just like really learning about music and how it just is being done.
Next thing you know, he's an American Idol.
And oh no, I wouldn't even say that far.
I say just do it. It's a great
Yeah.
creative outlet, and even if you don't do anything with it, I mean, it's always good to make something.
Yeah, because I saw Master Sword Music. He was like, "Yo, anybody wants to do a collab?" And I was like, "This would be dope," because I never really done it before. And just a quick thing, like my dad used to like produce music, like when I was a kid.
Oh wow.
And
Nice.
and my aunt used to play in a rock band, so it's like weirdly that kind of like I've kind of absorbed that music, family
Walter
thing.
Brewer.
Not everyone has done it. Like it's really just my mom. I mean my aunt and my stepdad. My dad used to have like a studio in our house, where he used to have people come in and just they would just record. And I used to sit back and listen all the time. And even now, since like he still talks about it and stuff, so that's kind of where like that kind of me writing and stuff comes from. So I mean, yeah, like honestly, like Switch, but if you send me like a couple tracks, whatever you got, and I'll just like, marinate on them, and I'll just like see what I come
All
up
right.
with.
I'll definitely will do that.
All right, cool.
nice. And yeah, one more thing, Ryan. Yeah, when you were saying the DNA of what was that? I'm gonna have to look back and see exactly what you said. But when you were talking about the NES, you called it like the DNA of arcade games. Like there was something. What was that?
Yeah, like that the way that games were made was for the NES was pulling the DNA. Yeah, that was what I meant. If that wasn't how exactly what I said, like it was very much in that same kind of
Yeah.
They were made that same kind of way.
Yeah, it actually like it clicked for me, so that's a good way to describe it. But yeah, no, I'm good, guys. I really appreciate being on CHRONOZ, and yeah, Switchbit, that was awesome music. That second one was really tight.
Appreciate
And
it.
we'll talk out right after this. I'll message you.
All right.
Sounds good, man.
I want to thank everyone else who stopped by. I know we did see J Love 81. Appreciate him for stopping by. I want to thank Ryan again for all the co-hosts today. Ryan, DRAYSON. Thank Switchbit, James Leiter, Katetsu for coming on. It was a great experience. I will end the podcast with the with a song. I'm gonna replay the NES games. As soon as we finish. And
Sweet.
right when the song finishes, you guys can either hang on, you guys can log out, and then I'll talk to you guys privately later on tonight, tomorrow, or if you want to stay for the after party chat. If you want to chat, probably just a quick 10 minutes, and then we head out. if you want to stay on. But in the meantime, guys, for those who are watching and who will be watching later on, we'll see you guys all next time.
Peace.
Take care.
Later, guys.
So yeah.
I'ma take a break from the Insta pics to tell you about the days I was 5 or 6 and I ain't ever even played a game before. When my bros brought home Moon Patrol, I was in trance, my eyes were starry. My bro let me know it's called Atari. A lifelong love affair started right there, and I played every game that my bros brought near. But it wasn't long before I got obsessed. We were walking into CSI NES. A Sunday morning in my Sunday best, saw Mario running and I put him to the test. Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3, Zelda and Link was so dear to me, and I was never alone. I was playing Punch Out, getting TKOs and touchdowns and Tecmo Bowl, making my way to the top like gum. My bubble bobble never pop when I'm having this fun. I don't even know what to do. I can hop in a plane, 1942, I try to survive in the land of Clue Clue. Apollo and Zexus try to kill Jason, always perplexed us. Dr. Mario feeling infectious. Every new game somehow impressed us. I can kill Hitler, Bionic Commando. These Capcom games, man, there's nothing they can handle. Fighting nightmares with Nemo in Dreamland. Just like Kirby, I'll be living the dream, and these NES games done got my brain. I don't even know if y'all hearing me. About to go conspiracy. Paperboy, Popeye's 500, one more try. Rushing attack on the field of track. Thinking about it, man, it takes me back. Captain Skyhawk felt like the best. And who can forget Festus Quest, Kung Fu Hogan's Alley, Balloon Fight, Duck Hunt, Metroid, Excite Bite. All these NES games. All these NES games, man.